Get ready, because the energy we're stepping into is no ordinary shift. The first week of May brought a lot of turbulence for many. Emotional ups and downs, unexpected confrontations, and a heavy sense of inner pressure that couldn't be easily explained. All of it was leading up to something greater, something that's about to unfold now. As of May 5th, a powerful wave of energy begins to move through the cosmos, one that crosses the boundary between what we simply feel and what we deeply understand. This isn't just a change, it's a wake-up call. This second week of May acts like a threshold, a passageway that can shake the very foundations of how we connect with others, the way we think, and the emotional wounds we've kept buried. What's happening now isn't just some abstract astrological moment. It's something real, something you can feel vibrating in your body and mind. The moon's current position brings your emotions into sharp focus, putting a spotlight on anything you've been pushing aside. Old anger, forgotten fears, or silent desires that have been waiting for their moment to rise. And while all of this is stirring within, Mercury's powerful alignment with Jupiter brings clarity and expansion to your thoughts. It's as if the universe is speaking directly to you, saying loud and clear, "Wake up." If you find yourself dealing with headaches, strange dreams, sudden memories, or moments of zoning out and staring into space, know that these aren't random. These are signs that your higher energy, your 5D self, is waking up and getting ready to emerge. Every odd moment, every emotional surge this week, is a signal meant to shake you into greater awareness. Nothing is coincidental right now. For those who are tuned in, a major door to transformation is opening. I'll walk you through what's happening in the sky this week and how it's all designed to change you from the inside out. If you stick around until the end of this video, you'll gain insights that can help elevate your consciousness and move you to a whole new level. But if you turn away, you'll likely remain in the same old energetic patterns. So do yourself a favor, stay with me, and give yourself the chance to rise into this new energy. Before we dive deeper, take a moment to support the channel. Like this video, subscribe, and drop 777 in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone whose awakening you want to support. Now let's go further. What's happening in the sky right now is not an accident. It's part of a carefully orchestrated cosmic plan. Beginning on May 5th, the energy that moves in is here to change the way you communicate, the way you connect with others, and even the way you see yourself. This isn't some random cosmic fluke. It's an intentional intervention designed to awaken you. The universe isn't playing games. Every planetary movement this week has a purpose, and it's all aligned to guide you into a deeper, more conscious state of being. But here's the thing. Most people won't realize what's happening. They'll feel the emotional shifts, the mental noise, or the strange coincidences, but they won't know what to make of it. They won't see that these are openings, cracks in their reality that invite a whole new level of awareness. And as of right now, that doorway is swinging open. With the moon's influence and Mercury forming a strong sextile with Jupiter, the stage is set for mental breakthroughs. This moment marks the beginning of something big, the lifting of mental blocks, the expansion of your perception, and a sense of understanding that may feel like it came out of nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere. It's been waiting, and now it's time. The thoughts and ideas that felt distant, even impossible just last week, now feel closer, more attainable. Conversations will flow more freely, and connections, both internal and external, will feel more alive. Your ideas, your intuition, and your inner guidance will start to make more sense. You'll begin to feel how everything is connected, how every moment, every interaction has meaning. Here's the part most people don't say out loud, but can feel in their bones. The energy this week is opening pathways in your mind that have been closed off for a very long time. You might start remembering things you thought you'd forgotten. Your inner senses might awaken. Insights could come to you with surprising clarity. It's like someone is flipping on a light in the deepest corners of your awareness. But make no mistake. This is just the beginning. The clarity you're beginning to feel is only the first stepping stone in a sequence of powerful cosmic events. And as the days unfold, more of these stones will start to fall into place, each one building on the last. The universe is clearing your mind now for a reason, because the emotional and spiritual depth that arrives next will require you to be awake, alert, and aligned. Tomorrow, May 6th, marks a major turning point. This is when the feelings and desires you've been suppressing finally start to rise to the surface. It's a day your soul has been waiting for, a day when it can no longer hide what it really wants. Two major planetary events happen on the same day, and that's not a coincidence either. They occur together because, united, they open a powerful doorway. First, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and values, forms a sextile aspect with Pluto, the planet of transformation. And whenever Pluto gets involved, something deep is going to shift. This isn't just about romantic love or material value. It's about diving into the deepest, most hidden layers of what you truly want. It's about the desires you've silenced and the connections you've kept on the surface finally demanding truth. Relationships that have been stuck or stagnant could suddenly ignite with passion or intensity. Bonds that have remained superficial will either deepen or fall apart altogether. There's no middle ground here. This energy doesn't allow for half-heartedness. You may feel magnetically drawn to someone or something without being able to explain why. This isn't random attraction. It's your soul signaling what it truly needs. This is the start of you stepping into your truth. Pay close attention to what catches your attention tomorrow. That pull you feel won't be random. It's your deeper self, the truest part of you, trying to guide you toward something that aligns with your real fulfillment. It's like your soul is speaking through your curiosity, pointing toward what genuinely matters. But there's more happening beneath the surface. At the very same time, Mercury, the planet that governs how we think and communicate, is aligning with Chiron, the archetype of the wounded healer. This rare and powerful alignment creates an energetic opening that reaches right through your emotional defenses. It's the kind of moment when words don't just land on the surface, they pierce through, landing in places you've long kept locked away. You might catch yourself saying things you haven't told anyone in years. Memories from your childhood, emotional wounds, and quiet vulnerabilities may rise to the surface, almost asking to be seen, spoken aloud, and finally accepted. And this isn't some coincidence. These two cosmic events are synchronized for a reason. The universe doesn't work in random scatterings. It's orchestrating something intentional. First, it opens your mind. Then it draws your hidden pain and deepest desires up to the surface. Why both at once? Because transformation happens holistically. It's not about fixing one piece at a time. It's about awakening everything, your thoughts, your feelings, your truths, all together. That's when the real shift happens. That's when you wake up. After May 6th, you might feel something new stirring inside you. Words you've kept buried might suddenly begin to pour out, as if they've been waiting all this time for the right moment. This won't just feel like you're speaking more. It'll feel like you're speaking from a new place inside yourself, from a deeper, more honest place. You might even surprise yourself with what you're suddenly ready to express. This alignment between Mercury and Chiron isn't just bringing pain to the surface. It's giving that pain a voice, Things you've held in for years, thoughts, truths, emotions, might finally find their way out into the open. For some, this will feel incredibly freeing. You might finally say things you've long needed to say, and the release will be like fresh air after years of holding your breath. For others, it might feel a bit overwhelming or even unsettling. It can be unnerving to hear yourself speak with such honesty, but whatever comes through you isn't random or accidental. These words carry keys to healing the wounds you've carried for so long. So if you find yourself this week in a deeply honest, emotionally raw conversation, or if someone opens up to you in a way they never have before, pause and be present. Listen. Speak from the heart. This isn't just any exchange. It's a healing moment, and it's sacred. What you're experiencing right now isn't just a ripple in the collective energy field. It's not simply an atmospheric shift or a passing phase. It's something far more intimate, far more personal. This is a dimensional shift, a sacred and profound transition that is unfolding uniquely within you. It's happening for you, not to you. The energy you're sensing isn't random or chaotic. It's a precise calling, a soul-level invitation from the higher realms, reaching directly into the core of who you are. This shift isn't sweeping everyone up at once. This is not one of those mass moments where all souls collectively ascend together. Rather, this is a gateway that's opening for those whose hearts, minds, and energetic bodies are attuned enough to recognize it. You are among those whose soul signatures have aligned with this vibration, not because you rushed or forced anything, but because your readiness has become undeniable. You've reached a certain frequency of awareness that can no longer remain in the density of what once was. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, recognizes that. And so this window opens, just for you. You're beginning to cross into what many describe as 5D consciousness, but it's more than a label or trend. It's a frequency, a way of being, a lived experience. This dimension is not somewhere out there. It is accessed within. It is a state of inner harmony, higher love, intuitive clarity, and multidimensional awareness. It's a realm where you no longer operate primarily from fear, separation, or ego-driven motives. Instead, you begin to feel, sense, and live from your soul. And this emergence, this ascension, brings with it a complex blend of sensations, some liberating, others disorienting. At times, this transition can feel isolating. Not because you are meant to be cut off from others, but because you are shedding layers of your former self, and not everyone around you will be ready or willing to shed theirs. It's not rejection, it's resonance. You're beginning to resonate at a higher frequency, and in doing so, you may find that certain people, places, habits, and thought patterns no longer align. It can feel jarring when once familiar comforts now feel foreign. You might find yourself withdrawing from conversations that used to entertain you, or avoiding spaces that now feel energetically heavy. This is not you being distant or aloof. It is you being refined by truth. Some people in your life may still be orbiting within old cycles, repeating lessons they haven't yet seen clearly. They might be deeply entangled in fear, control, judgment, or attachment, and to them, nothing seems different. They're not wrong or lesser. They're simply in a different phase of their soul's evolution. And while you may love them deeply, you may begin to feel a growing distance, not from a place of superiority, but from a place of soul divergence. You are being moved, almost magnetically, toward new frequencies that your soul craves. Depth, authenticity, love without condition, peace that doesn't require permission. Your inner world is undergoing profound renovation. Your thoughts are evolving. The old narratives, especially the ones rooted in self-doubt, shame, or scarcity, are losing their grip. You may find yourself questioning long-held beliefs, not because they were necessarily wrong, but because they were never yours to begin with. Your emotional landscape is becoming more vivid, more tender, and more alive. You're no longer content with surface-level joy. You seek something real, something whole, something that touches your spirit and leaves your heart more open, not more guarded. Your intuition, once a whisper, is becoming a guiding force. You might start to feel energies before they're spoken. You sense intentions beneath words. You feel emotions before they're named. You begin to trust your gut even when logic disagrees, and that trust becomes your compass. You don't need proof anymore. You need alignment. That inner knowing begins to guide your steps, especially in your relationships. Relationships, in fact, are where much of this transformation becomes tangible. Some will deepen in the most unexpected and sacred ways. You'll start noticing the beauty of soul resonance. Those connections where the energy feels effortless, the truth flows freely, and the presence of the other feels like a mirror of your own awakening. A simple conversation may carry a healing frequency. A shared silence may feel more profound than any words. And sometimes, even physical touch will feel like it's weaving threads of light between your souls. Love, once shaped by need or expectation, begins to reveal its truest form: unconditional, expansive, divine. But equally, some relationships may begin to unravel. Not with drama, not with chaos, but with quiet clarity. You may wake up one morning and realize that you've outgrown a certain dynamic, that you've been holding on out of habit, out of history, or out of fear of change. The universe will begin to illuminate what is no longer sustainable. It might be a friendship that feels energetically heavy, a partnership that drains your spirit, a family connection built on guilt instead of love. And when these truths begin to rise to the surface, they will not go back to sleep. Once seen, they demand acknowledgement. This process is not punishment. It is purification. It is the soul's way of releasing what no longer fits the higher blueprint. You are not losing people. You are making space for alignment. You are not breaking connections. You are allowing your frequency to sort what stays and what falls away. It can be painful. It can trigger grief. But this grief is sacred. It is the shedding of old skins, the funeral of who you once needed to be. You might find yourself withdrawing, not because you are hiding, but because your soul needs quiet, needs integration, needs stillness to process the magnitude of change. You may feel misunderstood by those who are not on the same frequency. You may feel judged by those who think you've changed too much or become distant. And perhaps you have changed. That is the point. You are not here to stay the same. You are here to evolve, to remember, to awaken. And that awakening doesn't require anyone's approval. A new doorway is opening. It's not visible to the naked eye, but your spirit knows it. You can feel the pull. It's drawing you into a new reality, one where your soul leads, where your truth is your power, and where your heart becomes your guide. Others may not see this door yet. That's okay. Their time will come. You don't need to convince them or carry them. You simply need to walk through your door with reverence, with courage, and with faith that you're not alone in this shift. As you continue through this transition, the energy around you begins to reorganize. Like attracts like. Resonance attracts resonance. You'll begin to attract soul family, people whose energy feels familiar, even if you've just met. People with whom there is an effortless connection, as if your souls have danced through lifetimes together. These relationships will be spacious, honest, and healing. They won't require masks or performance. They will honor your light, your wounds, your path. And yes, there will still be moments of doubt, moments where you question your journey, moments where you wonder if you're imagining things, or if you're simply too sensitive. But you're not. You're awakening. Sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a superpower in this new dimension. It is what allows you to feel the subtleties of energy, to connect with truth beyond illusion, and to navigate the world with a deeper sense of empathy and wisdom. The path you're on now isn't easy, but it is necessary. It requires courage to let go, strength to walk alone at times, and trust, deep, unwavering trust, that something greater is unfolding through you. You are being reshaped by the divine. Your very energy field is recalibrating to match the higher template of who you truly are. And in that process, you're not just changing your life. You're changing timelines. You're shifting your destiny. You're becoming a beacon for others who will one day feel what you're feeling now and remember that they too are ready to awaken. Your transformation becomes a light in the dark, not by force, but by frequency. So if you're feeling distant from what once comforted you, if you're grieving the loss of familiar energies, if you're feeling pulled toward a life you can't fully explain yet, breathe, trust it. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open. You are not lost. You are being led. The new earth is not just a place, it's a frequency, and you are becoming a living, breathing part of it. Hold space for yourself in this transition. Allow grace to be your companion. Celebrate the clarity that comes, even if it disrupts your plans. Honor the endings, even if they arrive with tears. And above all, stay open. Because something magnificent is emerging through you. Something real, something eternal, something holy. The veil is lifting, slowly, gently, like the soft unraveling of morning fog. Something is beginning to shift. You may not be able to see it with your physical eyes just yet, but your spirit can feel it. There's a new clarity breaking through the layers of your life, like sunlight after a long storm. It's not just a fleeting moment of insight, it's the beginning of a deeper awakening. And as this veil lifts, as the illusion starts to dissolve, you will begin to see your life not just as it's been, but as it truly is. What's coming into view now is raw, honest, and sacred. This clarity might be jarring at first. It can feel both exhilarating and unsettling to suddenly realize what no longer aligns, what was never truly meant for you, and what has quietly been guiding you forward all along. This isn't about blame or regret. It's about illumination. The kind of inner truth that burns gently but deeply, urging you to stand in your authenticity, no matter how unfamiliar it may feel. And here's the reality of this journey. Not everyone will walk this path with you. As you begin to rise into the version of yourself that feels more whole, more alive, more in alignment with your soul, you may notice people drifting away. Some will quietly fall off your path. Others may resist your growth, not because they are against you, but because they are still afraid of their own evolution. And that's okay. This road isn't about convincing others to come with you. It's about trusting that those who are meant to rise alongside you will recognize the frequency you're now carrying. They'll feel it, just as you feel the truth awakening in you. These people will speak a similar soul language. They'll hold space for your healing, not try to pull you back into the past. They won't just know your name or your story, they'll know your essence. When these souls arrive, you won't need to explain yourself. It will feel like home, familiar, grounding, and deeply safe. This is your time to rise. Not because someone told you it was time, not because you were pushed or pressured, but because something sacred within you is whispering, now. Your soul has been patiently waiting for this chapter. It's been gathering wisdom through your pain, courage through your challenges, and strength through your stillness. And now, that quiet inner voice is ready to speak. It's ready to declare itself, ready to heal, ready to shed the masks and emerge, not as someone new, but as the truest version of who you've always been. The changes you're feeling, the shifts in your relationships, the clarity in your thoughts, the sudden urges to let go of what once felt essential. None of it is random. These aren't coincidences. They're invitations. Each one is a thread in the divine tapestry of your life, pulling you closer to your next chapter. It may feel chaotic at times. It may feel like you're losing things. But what you're really doing is shedding the weight of false expectations, outdated dreams, and borrowed beliefs. You're not being broken, you're being reborn. This week especially brings deeper truths to the surface, particularly when it comes to your relationships. There's an unmistakable sense that certain connections are becoming more intense, more revealing, and more spiritually aligned. Pay attention to the conversations that leave you feeling seen. Notice the people who hold space for your evolving self without judgment. These are the connections the universe is highlighting. They are meant to nourish your soul, not just your comfort. At the same time, you might find yourself growing distant from those who once felt essential. The universe is making it clear now. Some bonds were only meant to carry you part of the way. There's nothing wrong with outgrowing a relationship. It doesn't mean the love wasn't real. It just means your soul has different needs now. It's time to surround yourself with people who reflect your growth, not your fears. This kind of cosmic sorting isn't easy. It can stir up grief, confusion, even guilt. But let yourself feel those emotions without clinging to them. You're not betraying anyone by evolving. You're simply honoring your path, and that's one of the most courageous things you can do. As the week progresses, there's another shift that deserves your attention. Around May 10th, Mercury, the planet of thought, communication, and mental clarity, moves from fiery Aries into earthy Taurus. This transition isn't just astrological theory. It's a real, grounded change in how your mind processes the world. In Aries, Mercury moves fast. Thoughts can be impulsive, scattered, even aggressive. Communication may have felt rushed or sharp, as if everything had to be said now. But Taurus slows things down. It invites steadiness, patience, and deeper reflection. You may notice a calm, settling in your mental space. Words might come slower but with more weight. You'll feel a pull toward grounded conversations and practical decisions. This is a time to anchor your ideas into reality. To stop chasing the next shiny distraction and instead ask yourself, what truly matters to me? In this grounded space, even silence becomes sacred. You may say less, but feel more. You might begin to express love not through grand declarations, but through presence, through your ability to listen, to feel, to connect without needing to explain. Taurus reminds us that our bodies are also communicators, that a hand on the shoulder, a steady gaze, or a quiet moment of shared breath can carry more meaning than words ever could. And if you've been feeling a strange, almost indescribable pressure in your head, like a weight pressing inward, a tightness that defies logic, you're not imagining it. It's not just stress, it's something deeper. Saturn, the great teacher of the zodiac, is now sitting at the 29th degree of Pisces, what astrologers call the critical degree. This is no ordinary placement. It's the final, most intense point of a sign. And when a slow-moving planet like Saturn sits here, we all feel it. This is the universe applying spiritual pressure. Not to harm you, but to refine you. It's the feeling of something within you being distilled, like your soul is being gently but firmly squeezed so that only what is real remains. It can feel exhausting, it can trigger old wounds, but this pressure is purposeful. Saturn is making sure you don't leave this chapter without learning what your soul came here to learn. And just as Saturn tightens its grip, Pluto has begun its retrograde journey, adding yet another layer to this deep inner transformation. Pluto governs our subconscious, our shadow, our most hidden layers. When it moves retrograde, It pulls those hidden truths to the surface. It asks us to look at the parts of ourselves we've ignored. Together, Saturn and Pluto are calling you into your deepest self. They're asking you to purge what no longer serves, to face what you've buried, and to embrace the rebirth that's waiting on the other side. If you're feeling mentally or emotionally foggy right now, if your dreams are vivid and strange, or if your body is carrying tension in strange places, please know you're not broken. You're simply attuned. You're feeling the shift that many are still blind to. You are not behind, and you're not doing it wrong. In fact, you're exactly where you need to be, in the eye of your own personal storm, standing on the edge of a brand new beginning. This isn't just a period of change. It's a sacred threshold. You're standing at the end of one chapter and the very beginning of another. And while that might bring fear, it also brings power. Real, undeniable power. The kind of power that comes from knowing that you've survived every previous storm, that you've already faced so much and emerged stronger every time. You are not the same person you were 6 months ago, or even 6 weeks ago. You are shedding the old skin. You are remembering what it means to be you. So if you find yourself crying more than usual, or needing more rest, or simply craving solitude, honor that. Your body and soul are recalibrating. Your system is adjusting to a new frequency. You're not being lazy, you're integrating. You're not being distant. You're conserving energy for what's to come. Because what's ahead of you is more honest, more aligned, and more beautiful than anything you've left behind. What's ahead of you isn't just a new life. It's your real life. One built on soul truth, not survival. One that feels like peace, not performance. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to rush into clarity. Let the insights come in waves. Let the emotions rise and fall. Let the transformation unfold at its own divine pace. Trust that you are being guided, even when the path feels unclear. And now that Pluto has gone retrograde, the transformation we're entering isn't just something that can be understood mentally or felt emotionally. It's reaching into the very core of who you are. This is not a surface-level shift. It's a profound unraveling of everything you've layered on top of your truth over the years. Pluto, often misunderstood in its intensity, doesn't simply bring endings. It brings reckonings. It peels back illusions and strips away facades until what's left is nothing but the raw, undiluted essence of your soul. This energy is subtle, and yet all-consuming. It doesn't always announce itself loudly, but you'll feel it pressing in, like a quiet but unrelenting wave, rising in the background of your life. Pluto retrograde is the kind of force that drags buried memories to the forefront, not to torment you, but to free you. Those long-forgotten fears, the desires you tucked away because you thought they were too much or too impossible, they're stirring now. They're asking to be acknowledged. It's not chaos for chaos's sake. It's sacred disruption. It's the alchemical fire that forges the truest version of you. There's a reason everything you've held back for years is demanding to be seen. The universe is no longer tolerating your delay. The time for hiding is over. The masks we've worn, the stories we've clung to, the identities we've crafted to feel safe, they're cracking. And while it may feel like you're being cornered, the truth is, you're being called into your wholeness, called into your becoming. What may appear as collapse is actually initiation. You're not being punished or trapped. You're being softened, shaped, and carved into alignment with a destiny far greater than the one you've been chasing. Of course, this kind of transformation doesn't sweep in overnight and make everything perfect. It moves in phases, like a tide that keeps returning to the shore. This week especially, the shifts will feel more noticeable. The internal rearrangement may feel exhausting, confusing, even painful at times. But the more you resist it, the harder it becomes. The more you lean into it, surrender to it, and trust it, the more you begin to sense the hidden gifts wrapped inside the tension. Underneath the pressure, there's a doorway beginning to open. You may not see it clearly yet. It may show up in dreams, subtle signs, gut feelings, but it's there, patiently waiting for you to walk through. And on the other side of that doorway lies a different kind of life, one that's more authentic, one that doesn't require you to shrink, perform, or suppress your inner truth. But here's the thing. To walk through it, you must be willing to leave behind the familiar. You must be willing to release the identity built around your wounds and choose the one shaped by your healing. That takes courage. That takes honesty. And most of all, that takes self-trust, the kind of trust that doesn't wait for external validation, but is rooted in your soul's knowing. Adding to this cosmic mix is the lingering influence of the first quarter moon in Leo, which recently lit up the sky with fire and intention. This wasn't just any moon phase. It was a pulse of creative life force energy that touched something primal within you. Leo, ruled by the sun, is the sign of the heart, of self-expression, of unapologetic authenticity. This moon came through like a roar, reminding you that your voice matters, that your presence holds power, that your feelings, no matter how intense or messy, are valid and necessary guides on your path. That's likely why you felt more emotionally charged lately. Maybe your dreams have become more vivid. Maybe you felt the urge to speak up, to push against something, to change course dramatically. Maybe you felt like you're standing in your own life, but somehow not fully belonging to it anymore. That discomfort, that restlessness, that's the Leo fire meeting the Plutonian depths. It's the dance between wanting to be seen and needing to go inward, between boldly showing up and quietly breaking down. And it's okay to feel both. You might be surprised by how your subconscious is speaking to you right now. It could be through music, through conversations that feel oddly timed, or through an emotional wave that comes out of nowhere. This is not random. It's the energy of the moment peeling back layers of denial and inviting you to see yourself, truly see yourself, for the first time in a long while. The parts you've edited out to be accepted, the truths you've swallowed to avoid conflict. All of it is coming up to be released, not to drown you, but to liberate you. This is why you may feel the need to express things that have remained unspoken for far too long. You may feel like you can't hold it in anymore, like the dam is about to burst. And that's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of healing. It's your soul reclaiming space. When your inner voice has been silenced, when your needs have been suppressed, when your identity has been shaped around appeasing others, speaking your truth becomes a revolutionary act. Yet as you open up and expand, don't be surprised if you also feel more alone. Not everyone is ready for the version of you that's emerging. You may find yourself naturally pulling away from certain people, places, or dynamics that once felt comfortable. But let me say this clearly. This solitude you're experiencing is not punishment. It's not a cosmic rejection. It's sacred space. It's where real transformation takes root. In the quiet, in the stillness, in the moments when there's no audience to perform for and no external standard to meet. This is a rite of passage, a soul-deep reorientation. And sometimes that means sitting with discomfort. Sometimes that means grieving the old you while you're still unsure of who you're becoming. Sometimes that means being misunderstood by those who haven't yet caught up to your growth. But the solitude of this season is not meant to break you. It's meant to reveal you, to bring you face to face with the unshakable core of who you are. As the days unfold, the questions you ask yourself will shape the path you walk. How do you move through this energy with awareness? How do you ground yourself when everything feels like it's shifting? How do you stay open to the magic while navigating the mess? First and foremost, make space for silence. That's not just poetic advice. It's spiritual necessity. Begin each day not by reaching for your phone, but by returning to your breath. Sit with yourself before the world has a chance to pull you in 100 different directions. In that quiet space, even if it's only for 10 minutes, ask your higher self what needs to be seen, felt, or released. The guidance you receive in those moments is not trivial. It's gold. It's the wisdom that comes when the ego steps aside and the soul steps forward. In the evenings, create a ritual of release. Light a candle. Write down what you want to let go of. Speak it aloud if you feel called. Let your nervous system know that it's safe to rest, to reset. These simple practices are more than just routines. They're ways of anchoring your spirit amidst chaos. And as Mercury shifts into Taurus later this week, there will be an energetic invitation to slow down, to stop racing ahead. Taurus is the stabilizer, the energy that brings you back into your body, back to your senses, back to what is real and tangible. If you've been feeling mentally scattered, this shift can help you refocus. Use it. Go outside. Touch the earth. Feel the sun on your skin. Let your bare feet connect with the ground beneath you. Nature is not separate from you. It is your reset button. It's your reminder that growth doesn't have to be rushed to be real. If you're going through physical symptoms, tiredness, headaches, sudden shifts in appetite or mood, listen to your body. It's speaking the language of your soul. As energy recalibrates, the body often processes what the mind can't yet understand. Drink more water. Rest more than you think you need. Give yourself grace. This isn't a sprint, it's a sacred unfolding. And above all, remember that you are not broken. You are breaking open. You are not falling apart. You are falling into alignment. This season of intensity is not here to destroy you. It's here to help you remember who you are beneath the fear, beneath the conditioning, beneath the expectations you've carried for too long. So allow yourself to be in this process. Let the truths rise. Let the emotions move. Let the fire cleanse. This isn't just another week. It's a threshold, a spiritual opening, a cosmic rebirth. The door's here. Your soul already knows the way. This week brings with it an invitation so sacred, so profound, that it's not meant to be rushed through or taken lightly. It is a week of inner dialogue, of conscious release, and of divine recalibration. As Mercury aligns with Chiron, a tender, healing vibration weaves through the collective energy field, one that encourages reflection, release, and a soulful kind of honesty. It's not just about speaking your truth to others, it's about speaking it gently, compassionately, and openly to yourself. When words and wounds meet under a sky like this, healing becomes possible. Not forced, not hurried, but lovingly unraveled, like a tightly wound thread finally allowed to loosen. And so, this week is ripe for writing, for journaling, for translating the silent stirrings of your heart into language. You don't have to be a poet or a writer to let the page hold what you've been carrying. All you need is your truth and the willingness to release it. Let the pen become an extension of your soul, a sacred tool that helps you articulate what may be too delicate to say out loud. Don't filter it. Don't edit it. Just let the words fall where they may. Journal about the emotions that rise without warning, about the conversations you wish you could have, about the dreams that revisit you from the past. Even those memories that still carry an ache, they're surfacing for a reason. Sometimes we hold on to experiences without realizing how much space they occupy within us. They sit quietly, but heavily, in the corners of our hearts. And it isn't until we write them down that we notice how much they've been influencing our thoughts, our choices, even our breath. Writing becomes more than an outlet. It becomes a sanctuary, a quiet temple where our emotions can kneel, be seen, and finally be set free. This week, let that be your ritual. Light a candle, play soft music, and surrender to the sacred act of expression. Let your writing become a bridge between the parts of you that are healing and the parts of you that are ready to rise. As the week unfolds, Pluto's retrograde deepens this invitation to go inward. Pluto, the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth, does not move backward without purpose. When this powerful energy shifts direction, it's a signal that it's time to revisit what's been buried. This is not punishment, it's purification. The illusions we've outgrown, the patterns we've been repeating unconsciously, the attachments that once felt like home but now feel like cages, all of it is being brought into the light for reevaluation. You are being given a rare gift, the chance to release with awareness, not from fear, but from readiness. And make no mistake, this purification isn't merely energetic. It's physical, emotional, spiritual. You might feel the urge to declutter your space, to cleanse your body, to clear your calendar. Don't ignore these nudges. They're guiding you toward alignment. Clean your home not out of obligation, but as a sacred gesture. Burn sage or Palo Santo not as a trend, but as an ancient practice of renewal. Let the steam of a warm bath carry your burdens away. Let the sound of a bell or a mantra vibrate through your cells. These are not small acts. They are ancient tools your soul remembers, and they create room for light to enter where stagnation once lived. Just as nature cannot flourish without decay, your spirit cannot evolve without shedding. This week asks you to become willing to let go, not in despair, but in trust. The things that are leaving your life now are not being taken from you. They are stepping aside so that something more aligned can take their place. You may feel a sense of solitude rising, a quiet distance between you and the outer world. This can be disorienting if you've always associated connection with constant noise and validation. But this silence is not emptiness, it's alignment. It's your soul finally able to breathe without interference.
In this silence, you may discover something profound, a longing not for more stimulation, but for stillness, a craving not for external approval, but for inner peace. This isn't loneliness, it's soul sovereignty. You are no longer searching for yourself in someone else's mirror. You're coming home, and as you do, the spaces and relationships that once felt comforting may begin to feel foreign. This can be painful, but it's also necessary. You're not being left behind, you're being called forward. The vibration you're stepping into cannot be matched by everything and everyone from your past. That's not loss, it's evolution. The beauty of transformation is that it often happens invisibly, like roots growing beneath the soil before the bloom. This is not a time for performance, it's a time for presence. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to explain your journey to those who cannot feel its depth. Some people will look at this week and see nothing unusual, but you who are awake to the rhythms of the soul, will feel it. You will sense the subtle shifts in your energy field, the quiet dissolving of old cords, the rise of a new clarity that can't quite be named. That's the universe speaking, not in thunderclaps, but in sacred whispers. This week is not ordinary. It's a portal. It's a turning point that doesn't demand grand gestures, but conscious participation. A fire has been lit within you, not to burn you, but to illuminate the truth. This is a threshold moment, one where you are being asked to walk forward, not as the person you were, but as the person you are becoming. You're no longer looping through old stories out of habit. You're choosing differently. Your healing has brought you here. Your bravery has carved this path. And now, the universe meets you with open arms. Everything is changing. Not because life suddenly looks different on the outside, but because you are seeing it through new eyes. Your choices are now rooted in your soul's truth, not your ego's fear. And this changes everything. The relationships you call in will feel deeper. The opportunities you attract will feel more aligned. The way you speak, move, love, and create will feel like a reflection of your highest self, not the self you were told to be, but the one you were born to be. It's okay if others don't understand this shift. You're not meant to convince anyone. You're meant to embody it. As your frequency rises, some connections will fall away. This is natural. What once resonated may no longer feel aligned, and that's not a sign of failure. It's a sign of growth. You are tuning into a different station, and not everyone can hear the song you're now dancing to. Allow the space that opens up in your life to be filled not with guilt or longing, but with gratitude for every soul that walked beside you and for the courage it takes to walk a new path. The signs are everywhere if you're paying attention. In dreams that leave you breathless, in synchronicities that feel too precise to ignore, in lyrics, books, or conversations that echo exactly what you needed to hear. The universe is no longer dropping breadcrumbs. It's laying out entire maps. And your only task is to trust where you're being led. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to rush into action. You simply need to remain open to guidance, to grace, to the sacred unfolding of your life. This week, you are not just a seeker. You are a co-creator. You are not watching life happen to you. You are shaping it with your choices, your energy, and your intentions. Every time you choose truth over comfort, stillness over distraction, healing over hiding, you are walking yourself home. This is what rebirth looks like, not dramatic, not always visible, but deeply real. And it is happening now. Let yourself be present with all of it. The discomfort, the clarity, the letting go, the becoming. This is your ascension, not in a distant, abstract sense, but in your real, tangible life. It's in the way you speak to yourself when you're tired, in the way you choose to rest instead of hustle, in the way you love more intentionally, in the way you soften when your old self would have hardened. This is what rising looks like. It's not always loud. It's often quiet, raw, and beautifully human. So take your time this week. Go slow. Listen closely. Feel everything. Let the tears fall when they need to. Let your laughter return when it's ready. Let your inner voice grow louder than the noise around you. Let your rituals anchor you, your intuition guide you, and your heart be the compass that leads you forward. This is not the end of anything. It's the sacred beginning of everything. And if this message stirs something inside you, let it echo outward. Share it with someone who may need it. Sometimes, one honest word can be the key that unlocks another soul's healing. Thank you for showing up for your own journey. Thank you for walking the path with such courage. Until we meet again, be gentle with yourself and trust the unfolding. Your ascension is here, and this time it's happening on purpose.